It's all about where meat, eggs and dairy, these animal products come from, and just about showing the public and just having open discussions, seeing how they feel about it. Because most people, when I ask them, and I'll ask you like whether you're against animal cruelty, most people say yes.
Yeah, obviously, but I guess you've got to find somebody's perception of what animal cruelty is.
And this is it, right? We all have this different idea of what's cruel. Do you think we need to consume animal products or use animals for products in today's society?
I personally think yes.
Okay, for what reason? What do you think we need?
It's just because it's too dependent. Like the world is just too dependent on it now. You know what I mean? It's really hard to sort of break out of bad habits, especially on an international scale. So if you just pull that away suddenly out of nowhere, then there's going to be, a price to pay for that as well.
So you mean like if these industries didn't exist tomorrow?
If they didn't exist in the first place, we probably would be in a better place right now.
Right.
But because they've already existed and they've already put their thing into society, it's really hard to pull something like that out suddenly.
So the interesting thing is, I totally get where you're coming from, is it seems like one person as an individual can't make much of a difference, but the thing is this information is coming out more and more people are seeing this, realising on an individual level that it doesn't align with their values, right? And when you make that decision, like I did, it doesn't really matter what everyone else is doing, because if you and I were born a few hundred years ago, slavery was legal.
Yeah, well, shit, exactly.
So we wouldn't say, well, I'm going to buy foods that come from those industries because everyone does it, right? So I get where you're coming from, but I would say that as an individual, you have way more power than you're giving yourself credit for. And that your money, would you agree, is like a vote for which industries you want to support?
Pretty much, yeah.
So when you go to buy clothing, you can think, I want to understand the ethics. It can be a bit trickier to find out supply and demand.
Because
But with this, and with flesh of animals, animals were killed and in these industries. With dairy and eggs, we know that it's standard practice to kill the males in the dairy industry and the egg industry. And we know what's considered standard practice.
Yeah.
Are you aware that in these industries, like in the pig industry here, like pigs in WA are gassed using CO2 in gas chambers?
I didn't know that. I don't eat pork myself anyway. But
and in the dairy industry, the cows are forcibly impregnated every year after year, babies taken, males killed. So
it's pretty feral, isn't it? Yeah.
And you agree that we're supporting that with our money when we pay for it, right?
100%.
Do you think there's a right way we can kill animals, or do you think there's a way we can do it that makes it moral? What do you think? What would that be?
I'm a Muslim myself, and the way we do it is when we sacrifice, we straight away,
slit the throat. Now, in a different context, let's say, just for comparison's sake, I have a dog here, okay, and I decide that I want to
eat it.
Yeah? Is it moral for me to slit the dog's throat when I don't need to?
Well, maybe that's considered a pet. Is a lamb a pet?
Well, that's our perception of the animal, right?
Yeah.
But the animal is just an animal. Like, whether we breed an animal for a specific purpose or not, that's still an individual animal, right?
It's a funny thing, but I was actually off meat for a long time because I did have a sheep when I was younger.
Yeah.
We had a little farm.
Yeah.
And one day I came from school and I saw it hanging upside down and the guts out.
Right.
And that put me off for a very long time.
Yeah,
but
traumatic.
Then I just go back to it,
I totally understand, man. I actually had a similar experience seeing a sheep get killed.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to consume animals. Same thing. It was always in the back of my mind, though.
Yeah,
and
it still is
in the back of your mind, right?
As well.
And that feeling that you got, if that happens in front of you and you feel like that's wrong and you don't like that, does it really change that it happens behind a wall? Like, let's say I take that same act and I don't show you.
Yeah.
But you still pay for that product. Is it any different?
No, it's not. It's still bad. Yeah.
So you're, in your heart, you're against this.
Yep.
So now all it is just aligning your actions with your morals and values, right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
And that's all veganism is. Veganism's like not a diet. It's just about aligning your pre-existing values of being against animal cruelty and harm with your actions.
It's so hard to go vegan. I'm the biggest meat eater you'll ever meet.
I totally understand what you're saying. There's never been a better time because we have so many amazing plant-based alternatives that taste like meat.
Yeah.
They taste like animal flesh. I can give you a
website recommendation.
I have all the information here. So these are just some of the products that you can get from the leading supermarkets.
Yep.
But there's a product that's come out called Beyond Meat.
Yep.
And they sell at Grill. They sell it at a lot of the fries here.
It's like the artificial meat, right?
And you can get vegan sausages and schnitzels and chicken nuggets and all these different products that are at the supermarkets now. And the only thing that's going to create more of a demand and increase those aisles is the more people that purchase them. Now you may find that the vegan meats are like 50 cents or $1 more.
It tastes pretty.
Oh, they taste great. And no cholesterol, no animal saturated fat.
So where do you get all the iron from? Beans and all that, huh?
So this actually shows you here. Iron is found, because iron comes from the dirt, it's a mineral, right?
Yeah.
Iron is abundant in the plant kingdom.
Uh-huh.
It's abundant, so lentils, legumes.
How much of that would you have to eat to get?
To be honest, I don't even have to worry about my levels. I just eat what I want, and I don't.
And you don't even put on weight either, do you?
Well, because I eat what's called whole food plant-based, which is like I limit the processed foods and things I eat. That's proven to be the only diet that can reverse like heart disease and cancer and diabetes and things like that.
Oh, right.
But if you want to eat the vegan junk food, the processed stuff, you're still not getting the cholesterol, which just means you're going to eliminate your risk, reduce your risk of heart disease and cancer and things like that as well. So have a look into it for yourself. I don't expect people when I talk to them to be like, that's it. But what I do expect is that people will get curious enough to look further into it for themselves and at least try it.
Been trying to push me to go vegan anyway as well.
Oh, amazing.
Try it out. So
So she's vegan, or?
She's trying to get on the bandwagon herself as well.
Amazing. So what you guys can do together is there's vegan22.com. That's a website that you can sign up for free. They give you a dietitian, recipes, places to eat, full support for 22 days. And you just sign up online. And then any questions you've got, anything you're struggling with. But there's so much information. And Happy Cow, the app, shows you where all the vegan options and vegan places are. So you brought up before about like in your culture, I guess, or tradition, animals are killed in a certain way.
Yeah.
Do you just so I understand, do you think there's a right way to kill someone? A good way to kill someone?
No.
No.
Yeah. There's a nicer way to kill someone, but
you and I can agree on that. If we had to have two situations where the person or the animal has to be killed, it's necessity, survival, whatever it is, we might have a justification there. Yeah. But it's not. We don't need to, right?
Yeah. Well, that can be an argument there as well. It's the food chain, but.
Well, let's talk about it, because I want to feel like you had your chance to think through it. So the food chain, do you think we exist within a natural food chain in our society?
So, all right, I'm going back all the way to, like, let's say when the first humans first came out.
Yeah.
They had to hunt.
Yep.
And they had to eat.
Yep.
And your argument is we don't have to do that in this society. We've got alternatives. Yep. So we shouldn't do it anymore, right?
Well, it's not, and there's no necessity. Like with moral issues, right? What justification do we have if it's not for necessity or survival? Like, what moral justification is there? Like,
for pleasure. That's what it is.
And is pleasure just because something gives us pleasure, does that make it moral?
No. Yeah.
So put that in a different context. If I get pleasure from hurting someone, or I get pleasure from, sexual acts without consent, we know what that is. So, no. So just because something's, gives us pleasure.
What do you get pleasure out of?
What I get pleasure? I get pleasure out of sharing this information with people because it's changed my life, and I get pleasure out of.
What possible sinful action do you do that you get pleasure out of?
Look, man, just by being human, we cause some kind of harm.
That's right.
So
you can't help being born, can you? Yeah.
No, but what I can do is, as I get older, try and educate myself as much as possible.
100%, yeah.
Because when we can make it a somewhat informed choice, we're making a conscious choice, and we only can do the right thing when we understand what those consequences are going to be, right?
Do you have pets?
I have a dog that rescued. Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah.
So
what about you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love pets. I grew up with plenty of animals. Yeah. I love animals.
Yeah.
So the captivation of animals, you wouldn't consider your dog being captivated?
Any animal against their will is, in my mind, that's slavery or exploitation.
Well, you've got a dog yourself.
So I rescued that dog from being killed.
Oh, right, okay.
So the dog was going to be...
So if you bought it from the pet shop, would that be a different story?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I'd be supporting an industry that exploits animals for profit.
Yeah, okay.
So this is vegans, it's about... Veganism is essentially reducing the harm you cause as much as practically possible. There's so many animal products hidden, but we know for sure with these products, you can completely avoid them, and you can buy alternatives to them.
You know what? For you, I am going to try this.
Give it a try, man, and see how you like it. See how you feel.
No worries. Thank you very
I'm
much.
Jamie, by the way.
Emery, nice to meet you, mate. All the best.